It was supposed to be just another family barbecue. But the moment he walked through the door, my entire world tilted. I had promised myself I would never fall for him again, and yet, there he was, smiling like he belonged in every memory I'd tried so hard to erase. Caleb Foster, my brother's best friend. My first kiss. My biggest regret. The smell of grilled corn and ribs lingered in the air as my mom fussed over plates in the kitchen, and my dad laughed too loudly at some sports commentary blaring from the TV. None of that mattered. What mattered was that Caleb, after 2 years away at college, was standing in our backyard again, older, broader, his jaw sharper, his presence impossible to ignore. He caught my eyes across the lawn. That same half-smile I once swore was meant just for me flickered on his face. My chest tightened, and I looked away quickly, pretending to refill my soda even though the can was still full. I told myself I hated him. I told myself I had to. After all, Caleb had been there the night I confessed my feelings at 16, heart trembling, words spilling out like broken glass. He had pulled me close, kissed me so deeply I thought the stars had swallowed us whole, and then he pushed me away, his lips still tasting of mine, whispering, "This can't happen. You're Luke's little brother." That rejection carved a wound that never really healed. And now he was back, laughing with my brother Luke near the grill, tossing a football like nothing had ever happened, like he hadn't shattered me. I pressed myself against the porch railing, staring at the chipped paint so I wouldn't stare at him. But my body betrayed me, every nerve buzzing with awareness of where he was. How close his voice sounded when he said my brother's name. The low hum of his laughter that reached me no matter how hard I tried to block it out. I thought I'd buried everything, but Caleb's presence unearthed it all. When the sun dipped lower, painting the backyard in amber and shadows, I slipped inside, needing space, needing air that didn't taste like him. I didn't expect him to follow, but he did. Ethan, his voice was quiet, softer than I remembered, curled through the kitchen, catching me mid-step. I froze, my back to him. "Don't," I said too sharply. "Don't say my name like that." He took a step closer. I felt it, the heat of his body even before I turned. "Like what?" "Like you have the right to." My voice cracked, betrayal and longing twisting into something raw. His eyes softened, guilt flickering there. "I know I hurt you. I never stopped thinking about it." The words hit me like a blow. My throat tightened, my fists clenched. "You don't get to say that. You made me feel like I was wrong for loving you. You kissed me like I meant something, then threw me away." Caleb's jaw flexed, pain written across his features. He ran a hand through his hair, like he didn't know where to put all the things he wanted to say. I was scared. "Luke, your family," he stopped, searching for words. "It wasn't you I didn't want. It was the risk of losing everything else." For a second, the silence was unbearable. My heart beat so hard I thought he could hear it. "You don't get it," I whispered. "You were the only one who ever made me feel seen. And then you vanished." His voice broke when he answered. "I didn't vanish. I ran. And it's the one thing I regret more than anything." The truth in his tone was dangerous. Pulled at the pieces of me I'd tried to weld back together. And God help me, I wanted to believe him. Before I could respond, Luke's voice boomed from outside, calling Caleb back to the game. The moment shattered. He looked at me one last time, eyes heavy with something unsaid, before he slipped away like he always had. I pressed a hand to my chest, trying to calm the storm he left behind. But deep down, I knew it was too late. Caleb Foster was back in my life, and whether I wanted him there or not, my heart wasn't going to survive untouched. Later that night, when the house had quieted and my brother had gone upstairs, I found myself wandering out to the porch again. The air was cooler, stars scattered across the sky like spilled salt. And there he was, Caleb, sitting alone on the steps, elbows resting on his knees, looking like he carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken apologies. For a moment, I thought about turning back, but something inside mesomething reckless and tender pushed me forward. He looked up as I approached. "Couldn't sleep either?" he asked. I gave a small, humorless laugh. "Sleep doesn't come easy when ghosts are walking around in your backyard." His lips pressed into a thin line. Guess I earned that. We sat in silence for a while, the distance between us charged, our shoulders almost brushing. I could smell his cologne, faint cedar and smoke, the scent that haunted me long after he left. Finally, he whispered, "Do you hate me?" I swallowed hard. The easy answer was yes. The true one was tangled. I want to, but I can't. His breath hitched. He turned, eyes locking onto mine, and for once he didn't look like my brother's best friend. He just looked like Caleb, the boy who had held my face that summer night, the boy who had whispered my name like it was something sacred. And in that look, I felt my defenses begin to crumble. Caleb's gaze lingered on mine until I couldn't take it anymore. I looked away, staring at the stars, though none of them shone as bright as the gravity between us. "You don't know what it was like for me," he said, his voice breaking the quiet. "Loving you in silence, pretending like it never happened. Every time I called Luke, every time I came home, I had to fight the urge to ask about you, to see you. I thought leaving would make it easier, but it only made me realize." He stopped, inhaling sharply. "I never stopped loving you, Ethan." My heart thudded against my ribs. For a long moment I couldn't breathe. Those were the words I had begged for years ago, the words that could have saved me from nights of self-doubt and shame. And now they were here, spilling from his lips like a lifeline I wasn't sure I could grasp. "Do you have any idea what it cost me?" I whispered, finally turning to face him. "I hated myself for wanting you. I thought I was broken because you made me feel alive and then made me feel ashamed for it." His eyes shone, glassy under the porch light. "I never wanted you to feel that way. God, Ethan, I was a coward. I thought protecting Luke's friendship meant burying my heart. But I can't do it anymore. Not if it means losing you forever." I let out a shaky breath, torn between anger and the undeniable pull toward him. The memory of that first kiss still burned on my lips, the ache of rejection still fresh. And yet, so was the love I had never managed to kill. Before I could speak, the screen door creaked open. Luke's shadow filled the doorway. "What the hell is going on out here?" His voice was groggy but edged with suspicion. We both jumped. Caleb straightened, guilt flashing across his face, while my stomach dropped. "Nothing," I blurted. Too fast. Too guilty. Luke's eyes narrowed, shifting between us. "Nothing, huh?" His tone carried the weight of all the years he'd known us, all the trust he'd placed in his best friend, all the protectiveness he held for me as his younger brother. Panic surged, but Caleb surprised me. He didn't run. He didn't laugh it off. Instead, he stood, squaring his shoulders like a man who had finally made his choice. "Luke," he said, steady and clear, "it's not nothing. I care about your brother. More than I ever should have, and more than I've admitted until now." The world seemed to stop. My brother's face darkened, shock and betrayal swirling in his eyes. "Are you serious? Ethan, is this true?" I felt the weight of both their gazes, one demanding answers, the other silently pleading for courage. My chest tightened, but for the first time I refused to hide. "Yes," I said, voice trembling but sure. "It's true. I love him." The silence that followed was suffocating. Luke's jaw clenched. For a moment I thought he would throw Caleb out, that I'd lose them both in one breath. But then his anger cracked into something softer, hurt, confusion, but also the faint flicker of understanding. "You're my brother?" Luke muttered, rubbing a hand over his face. I never saw this coming." Caleb stepped forward, his voice raw. "I would never hurt him, Luke. I swear to you. I know I already made mistakes, but I won't run from this again. Not from him." Luke studied him for a long time, then turned to me. His shoulders sagged, and he let out a heavy sigh. "You two are insane, you know that? But if this is real, if it makes you happy, I am not standing in the way." Relief crashed over me so fiercely my knees nearly buckled. Caleb's hand brushed mine, tentative but certain, and for the first time in years, I didn't pull away. Weeks later, summer slipped into golden afternoons. Caleb and I no longer had to steal glances in crowded rooms, or hide our words under layers of silence. We sat on that same porch many nights, shoulders pressed together, laughter replacing the ache of what we once lost. Sometimes, when the cicadas hummed and the sky burned pink, he'd lean in and kiss me soft, reverent, as if making up for all the years we'd been apart. And every time it felt like home. He wasn't just my brother's best friend anymore. He wasn't just my mistake. He was the boy who broke me, yes. But more importantly, he was the man who came back to put me back together. And when he whispered, "I'm here, and I'm not leaving again," into my ear one quiet evening, I finally believed him. Because sometimes, love isn't about never falling. It's about falling, breaking, and finding your way back stronger, braver, and together. And for the first time in years, I wasn't afraid. I was his and he was mine, forever. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.